My stream times will heavily vary if Smite 2 is fun tomorrow, yes. Absolutely. There's also a tweet. All right, I want to look at this first because this matters, I guess. This pertains to the topic at hand. Let's make this gigantic. In the Smite 2 update, all crowd control durations were reduced by 25 to 50%. As a countermeasure to beads no longer being a global default. Wait, what? Oh, wait. Why? I don't understand why. Like, you can't even kill somebody in this time frame. Lowering base health doesn't matter, bro. How often are you going to 100 to 0 somebody in 0.8 seconds unless it's hyper late game? See, my original conversation with Hi-Rez at Worlds was they wanted more death. They wanted more killing. They wanted more fighting. This literally, like, the blink is a neutral change, first of all. So if you aren't understanding that, you need to process the game better. You need to play some other games. It can be used aggressively or defensively. So if jungler blinks on mid could blink away, right? It's a combat blink. Anybody, you can do whatever you want. If Odin jumps on Ra could combat blink out of Odin ult. Like that, it's a full counter potential. So why do we need to reduce CC times because everyone doesn't have beads? Like, I want to die. I want to be punished if I get stunned out of position and can get comboed by everybody. Yeah, they've said you can choose between beads and blink. But what I don't understand is why are CC times reduced? I don't like this. I really don't like this. I think this is a terrible idea. Let people get kills for hitting abilities, bro. Let people die. If anything, like, say that's a problem. People are dying too much. Lower the fucking respawn timers. If you die, it doesn't feel as bad if you're up in 20 seconds instead of 30. If you're up in 30 instead of 40. Why am I reducing the CC time on abilities right now? I think this should have been heavily tested before this got put in. I think this Alpha 3 should have not had this and should definitely not have this. And it should have been tested and gotten feedback based on having combat blink and new, lower health that they put in the game. This is too many things at once. I I don't understand this. I don't agree with this at all. We're lowering HP. We're making Blink not be the standard. Or, you know, it's beads not be the standard. You can go either Blink or beads, but it's not the standard. Everyone's not going to have it. And then we're just also reducing CC time. Why not just let those two things settle and see what happens before doing this? And I agree, Jordan, you should choose in the lobby between beads or Blink. I don't think it should be a swappable active. I think you should choose either or when the game starts and be punished or rewarded for, you know, choosing the right active and using the active correctly. I don't like this. I really think this is a bad idea. Like, we're getting no feedback, no statistics, no numbers on a lower health Smite 2 meta with combat Blink on everybody. Because we're also making CC times lower, and it's less likely to die because if you're CC'd for 0.2 less seconds, then you're less likely to hit by an extra ability, an extra auto, whatever it is. Why not? I don't understand why you wouldn't test the other changes before adding in this at all. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't understand that. Keep in mind, I am playing other games that, if I was allowed to talk about it deeply, pertains to this. And those other games feel fucking amazing. So I'm not understanding that. We're getting T-Screen back. So these are the actual patch notes for this alpha weekend coming up tomorrow, the 6/27? June 27th. T-Screen coming back. Players can now swap between two See, I'm excited for this because I think one of the HUDs puts the new option rearrange items to be closer to the center. Yeah, this Novus one is going to be better than this one. Oh, let's go, Jordan. Are you getting the stick ones? Stick tattoo? So this default HUD puts your items in the bottom left. This Novus HUD is going to put items next to abilities in the middle. So if you have active items, they're there and you can see them. And I think this is the better HUD. Assuming they didn't change too much. I believe this is going to be the better performing HUD, and it'll be a change that you will have to adapt to, as always, but you should 100% swap to this. Minimap, jungle camp, respawn timers, updates in segments instead of every second. I kind of like the every second thing. That's crazy. This will just be displaying 6 segments, similar to Smite 1. All right, that's fine that they're making like Smite 1. I'm not going to complain about that. Item store, role filters, subcategories. Items within role filters will now be labeled and divided by their primary stat. Updated ruler, so that's the ground targeter that you can use. You can see the ruler in front of you, the line. Damage numbers had further adjustments related to positioning, spacing, and sizing. Interaction UI has had a visual and technical overhaul. All right. Scandinavian, what the fuck are you saying? Conquest is getting various changes to increase the intensity of the game mode, especially in the early to mid game. Jungle buffs will now drop at level 1. That's something that I wanted, that I asked for. Players can stack multiple types of jungle buffs. This could be cool, bad, or just, you know, fine. We don't know. Gold gain is being increased to speed up the pace that players get to full build. So they really are aiming for Smite games to be over at like the 25 to 35 minute mark and go no longer, I feel like, with this. Because it basically just ramps up getting the late game. Which this could also offset this. So while I don't like this, this could offset it because if we have more items, this CC timer being lower might not matter because we're doing more damage. But we don't know because we didn't need to test the other one. So we'll see. The side lanes are getting a new camp to fight over, the Cyclops camp that provides no XP but more gold than a usual camp. This will help players push their advantage gained in early PvP combat. We're also making some changes to ensure games end on time. Structures are getting easier to kill. Fire Giant will provide a more powerful reward. I like this. I don't like this. New camp, side lane gold pickups replaced with rogue Cyclops. So no more pickups. I hope this means no more pickups because that was, everyone hated that. No longer grants team gold. Does not grant XP when killed. Big Rogue Cyclops grants 90 months. Plus 10 per level gold. This is huge. I feel like. It's similar to the, what are they, Nagas right now that are in Smite 1, but this is more gold. This is significantly more gold. Like this is a lot of gold. And a small one is 15 plus 5 per level. Yeah, this is a lot of gold. Jungle camps now drop buffs at level 1. Players can now pick up and stack different buffs. You're gonna see this is really good for, what is going on with my mouse, man? This is really good for junglers because jungle speed buff sucks in Smite 2. Over the last 12 years in Smite 1, they consistently nerfed the speed buff. They removed it from the game at one point. They put it back in, nerfed, and then nerfed it again, nerfed it again, nerfed it again. So going to Smite 2, speed buff is probably the worst buff out of all the buffs. It's not even comparable. It is worthless in a team fight. It has no value in an actual team fight. So this is big for junglers to be able to carry a secondary buff. Plus, let's not forget that there are invades. So you can hold the other team's buffs that you invade. There are side buffs in mid lane and in the duo lane. So there's 3 extra neutral buffs that you can pick up. So this is really, really important and valuable for junglers. It's going to have value to potentially supports or ADCs and also mids. Probably less for solos than anybody, but that could change. Minions gain damage reduction over time. Starts at 0%, plus 1.75 every 3 minutes, 15% damage. Okay, so they'll be a little bit harder to kill late game. Okay. Map gold changes. Increases scaling gold per level on minions by 0.5 to 1.5. Per level on jungle camps from 1.5 to 3. Wait, that's a lot of gold? No? Is this not a lot? I wonder what that averages out in a game. I wonder if they've done that math anywhere. Phoenix, HP protection nerf, decreased base health of Phoenix by 500, decreased base protections by 10. Okay. Don't like these, but it's whatever. 250 on tower, 5 on tower. Titan has 1700 less HP. Wait, decreased base physical pen, so it doesn't hit tanks as hard. Increased buff stats from Fire Giant. Now grants 30 protections on first kill. Base health regeneration buff increased from 0.8 to 1. Wait. What else? Is that all Fire Giant does? Or is this just extra on top of what it already does? That's got to be extra on top of what it already does. New primal buff effects. Okay, 5 mana regen on level 1. 5 mana regen when you take damage from Hecate God to reduce non-ultimate cooldowns by 1 second. Gain 10 mana. This is different, right? Did it give mana regen before? I thought it was defense. I thought it was protections. I'm pretty sure this gave protections before. In Smite 2. I think it gave protections. Yeah, I think it gave protections. So they changed this. So it is more aggressive in a way, but less takey. So that's wild. This up every 3 seconds is sick. New Pathfinder buff effects. Oh, okay, Iris. Okay, when you slay a jungle monster, recover 10% of the monster's health as healing and restores 20. So speed buff is now Bumbas? Oh, shit. Okay, they buffed the fuck out of the speed buff. Abilities that hit an enemy god reduce protections by 10. They made this the best buff in the game. This went from worthless to the best buff in the game. 15% movement speed, 20 pen at max rank. Yo, they made the speed buff cracked. They made this, and I'm assuming since the wording is in here, so in Smite 2, the speed buff would be removed from you. So not the buff, but the actual movement speed would be removed when you got hit by anything. So now it doesn't seem to be removed. You just have a flat 50% movement speed. This is crazy. 20 flat bend. This is enough for me to be happy, bro. This is cool. This is crazy. New inspiration buffs. Gain 4 strength, 4 int, 1. So I actually like this, by the way. So props to high-res. A big complaint of mine and a lot of people was that the buffs were boring. They were flat stats that you didn't pay attention to, right? This was protections before. This was movement speed that didn't matter. It was just bad. This was flat stats. And they've added these secondary effects, which are really, really cool. Where they matter, they might not, they might be broken, they might not. Probably gonna be broken, in the tier 4s. But you're aware of this because this is valuable. Where like just this stat alone is pretty boring and you're not gonna be that aware. So you gain strength int once per ability hit or basic attack hit. So this stacks. Is this permanent? I'm confused. Not permanent, but like lasts the whole buff, or do you have to keep stacking it? Gain the stacks. Nearby minion death stores a soul. Hitting an objective or jungle boss fires all the souls towards the target. Wait, that's dope. What the hell? Okay, we have objective burst. It goes up to 8 strength at rank 3 or strength and int once per ability hit. 5 stacks. Same thing. Gain 1 soul every second. These tier 4s are really cool.
To the Ole 1 year mark.
What's up, Willie T? Thank you for the 11. Welcome back. New caustic buff. Attacks and abilities. This is red buff. Attacks and abilities apply poison that deals 2.5% of max health for 3 seconds. Isn't this the same? Oh my god. Okay, this is irrelevant to me. 10% over 3 seconds on a red buff. If you have 2 people with red buff, if you have a hunter, if you're invading or controlling the map, you have a hunter and a mage with this buff. It's just 20% of your health gone, instantly, essentially. Holy crap! New trinket buff. So these are the smalls. 300 HP shields. Yeah. So these are kind of the same. They just didn't have rank 1 buff, so these are nice. Side lane gold pickups replaced with the road clubs. We know that. Requirements for leveling up camps reduced by 1 whole clear. Yeah, this is big, bro, because it took forever to level up your camps. So you're going to level them up faster to get these higher tiers. Fictional camp special abilities, not using their strength in for damage. Okay. Oof. Hecate's basic attacks. Fires a projectile that deals magic damage. Projectile stops on first target. Alright, so it's basic. No, it's all normal. Mythic ritual. Interact with allied structures to channel and create a buff area that provides health and mana regeneration to the gods in the area. Interact with allied gods only if they have recently earned a kill to channel and increase their strength and intelligence. Channel time is 2 seconds. Can move while channeling. Channel will not be interrupted if the target or Hecate get out of range. Structure buff area has infinite duration. Only 1 structure can be buffed at a time. If a new one is buffed, the previous one will lose the effect. Must complete the ritual on a player within 30 seconds of that player getting a kill. Health regen, mana regen, strength. Buff is 300 seconds. Okay, so is this her first ability? Hold on. Is this her passive? This is her passive. So her passive is essentially to win somebody a lane and then make somebody carry her. Assuming she can't channel on herself, but maybe she can. I don't know if they clarified this somewhere. This is a really cool passive where you actually are doing something.
About the more deep details about her development process and her themes and things like that, you can check out the closer look blog post.
Right. I hate how long it takes them to do this though, bro.
Goddess of sorcery, starting off Pawn just showing off her passive right off the bat. So like we went ahead and we were like, we want to think about ways to smite 2ify this character.
Right.
from the very beginning. So,
I still hate how small the mid lane is.
You know, was tested internally and close tested, and completely couldn't do.
Yeah, her first kit was not it,
Hecate,
apparently.
she can buff a structure.
All right.
She can have
That's
any
cool.
structure can be
I want to see her buff a god, though.
around from structure to structure. Right? This is some real eldritch magic stuff. Something very passive stuff.
Nice.
So Hecate gets rewarded for goddess. You'll see prompts on the gods if they're viable to buff when you walk near them, and the interact is extremely forgiving as possible. All you have.
Okay. Oh shoot. All right. So the channel's pretty basic. Her first ability, fire projectile that alternates between power form and hex form on each activation. So if you use it once, it's power form. The next time it'll be hex form. Power form deals magic damage and marks enemies hit. Marked enemies take bonus magical damage when they are damaged by gods. Hex form deals magic damage and mesmerizes enemies hit. Projectile both pass through and damage all enemies and pass through walls. Both projectiles linger at magic max range for 1 second and can still hit enemies. Each projectile can only hit an enemy one time. Only damage dealt by the basic attacks and abilities of gods triggers the bonus damage from the mark. 230, 70% intel scaling. Bonus damage is 30, 5% intel scaling on this. Mark duration is 6. Mesmerized duration is 1. That's different. This is really weird because this screams support. Mez or bonus damage, and the bonus damage is from your teammates hitting him. Is she support? I mean, she's a mage, right? Obviously in Smite 2 they're going for the crossovers, but like this yells like more support than anything. Yeah, this could be the start of like cool supports, to be honest. Spell Eater, the second ability. Create a sigil that charges up when gods activate abilities in a large area. Reactivate to deal magic damage to enemies in the targeted area. Damage can increase by up to 120%. Create a sigil that charges up when gods activate abilities within. Okay, let's see this. See these two abilities real quick.
In the area, simulated clock ability here. This was one of the reworked abilities. This was a theme that people really wanted to see more of. So Hecate is.
Oh, so she can do bonus damage too. Okay.
Goddess. So I wanted to highlight and show that in a unique way that played into her kit and her themes. So like these aren't just clones.
She can be crazy as an AA mage, maybe.
Entities that are all
Yeah, I can turn it up.
The impactful mythology behind this and theme behind this is that there's different roles that a goddess, a woman, go through their life, and they have different aspects of, you know, different traits. So Hecate has these 3 traits.
I don't want to hear all this.
So this is a flat trigger per tick. So this combos super well with gods like fast ticking gods.
Kukulkan,
Anubis, which, you know, we'll get there, but Hecate also plays very well as a support or potentially a mid as well.
So she is going to have insane pairing. Where the fuck is it? It's right here. So it's for 6 seconds, every ability or auto attack that hits them, they take 30 damage plus 5% int. So if Cern's 2 is ticking, if Anubis is ulting, if Anubis is 1-3ing, if Anubis is 3 ulting, and this happens to be on them, they're going to take a lot of damage.
The first ability, or the first fire of the first ability. The other one, the purple one, is a Mez. And you can see whenever she activates the ability, the other form that's not being cast is, you know, melding out of her and helping her fire the third form. So you get all 3 of them together in this cool Smite. They outro at the end. They do people with it and put it in cool places to block people. Gives them a little bit more of a true physical form to play with the theme. Smaller explosion. The large radius charges up in damage based on every ability activated in the area.
I know we're on Hecate, all right? It was the exact point I was trying to remember. So we've gone over the passive, we've gone over the ability. Yes. Now we're going over Spell Eater, and that's what I just saw them cast. Creates a sigil that charges up when gods activate abilities in a large area. Reactivate to deal damage, magic damage, into enemies in the targeted area. So you throw it up in an area, and then you throw it again in a smaller area to do damage, which is what they're showing. They were showing.
About the more deep details about her development different and into your playstyle faster.
Dang, we were way into this.
Spell shield.
All right, so it's this.
In the area of the
So you throw up that ball into the sky. It has a giant area. Anyone who casts damage in there charges it up, and then you throw it again in a smaller area.
Is eating up spells. The spell shield is giving it an extra appetizer and dessert to go along with it. But yeah, really unique thing. We've never done this before. As far as the spell shield goes, it stacks with all other shields, and if you have a regular shield and a spell shield, you can see the blue and purple.
You get a spell shield
on your health bar. And we have all shield stacking tech in Smite 2 that we don't have in Smite 1 that will take the most narrow priority.
Max charge at 12. Damage is increased by 10% per charge.
Maximize your shield value. All that's happening.
Increased by 10% per charge. So the base is 250. Scaling is 45%, and it goes up. I don't know how much int you get right now because, we haven't played this alpha that we're going to play, but let's say this is 600. So that means this could hit for like 1300. Oh, the shield is the 3. Okay. But I'm still looking at this. I want to see the numbers on this. That's kind of crazy, right? Max is 220% base damage and scaling. This could be hitting really, really hard. But like this ability makes me think it's mainly for other people. Has decent scaling though. And this one just makes it seem, looks like you hit hard as shit. Like you wouldn't want to be a tank with this. So while this scream kind of supporty, this does not. This is the exact opposite. Repel magic. Lock onto yourself or an allied god to grant them a magical shield and deal magic damage to enemies around them. Activating this ability increases your movement speed and provides Spell Eater with 3 charges instead of 1. Magic shields are HP shields that only absorb magic damage. They stack with HP shields. Damage 265. Scaling 85% intel. Magic shield health 300. Movement speed is 15%. So if you give this to a tank, they're going to go crazy. They're going to be fast. They're going to have a shield, and they're going to... I'm assuming this is a burst when you first throw it onto them. So you're going to be able to make a jungler or a tank or even a support just go wild, dude. And you're going to get a ton of damage off of it too. Or yourself if you're trying to live, I guess. Open the gates is the ult. Wait, I want to see this. This is the shield.
Behind the scenes from the code we've set up for Smite 2. Yeah. In a way that makes it...
So that's the shield targeter?
But still powerful.
Yeah, and this is definitely the one of the abilities that really showcases her as... She obviously can play like a mage and deal damage, but... There's been people in our internal playtests who are like exclusively playing Hecate support, and I think
she's like a better support than anything else.
And it is very effective with the 2 scaling and having high base damage when it scales, combined with
I cannot close this.
Being a very good counter, especially to a lot of
I can't close these.
And synergizing with and the 1 giving that damage buff that can synergize with a lot of rapid tick characters. She can be a very potent support.
She's got access to a mez.
She essentially has medium int scaling across the kit. But she has a couple things like Pawn mentioned that do a decent,
there we go,
a very good base damage, or synergize very well with even if you're not building int. So that's the
all right.
One.
So her kit's pretty cool. The ultimate. What up, AEs? Thank you for the 14 months.
Yeah.
Can create 2 portals that deal magic damage to enemies after delay. Gods who are hit are stunned and then displaced to the opposite portal. You and allied gods can interact with the portal to teleport between them. One portal is always opened right in front of you. The other is opened at a targeted area. Enemies that cleanse or immune the stun will not be teleported. The initial delay is 1.5 seconds. The interactable lifetime is 30 seconds. You and allies can interact with the portals any number of times. Damage is 470, 80% scaling.
And the 2 do the full combo. It's hard to top the utility that this.
It's a short range, but like being able to go back and forth.
Do the full combo. So Oh my gosh.
OP.
Okay, that was a lot, but let's look at what it is. Let's hit that one Ymir pawn with the ranged ultimate. So this summons these 2 big circles.
This is definitely one of the
There's a
cooler
long,
Smite abilities in the whole game, right?
You know, warning
Like, if
area,
not the coolest.
and then a detonate at the end. When it detonates at the end, it takes any enemy gods that are hit, are stunned for a short duration, and then teleported to the other portal. So you can also, why don't you go ahead and banish this Ymir away from me, pawn, just by himself. Don't hit the other ones. Yeah, just I want him out of here.
All right, time out. Steph, you weren't banned. You know why you were banned. I think you should have been timed out. You guys can unban Steph and just time him out. You shouldn't self-promote, bro. Like, why is that even a concept that has to be mentioned if you're not 5 years old? Like, you just throw into a stream of people that are not here for you that, hey, I have this thing that I'm doing. Everyone go check it out. That's weird behavior. Steph, if you're Steph Conway 546, you typed, if anyone interested, I started a TikTok channel. It's your name. That's what you type. I can see it. I can see the message. Yeah. So why'd you say no, question mark, and now you're saying yeah?
Gone.
Ooh. So you can
Like,
use
it should
this
be
ability
pretty
as a way
obvious
to
that you don't do that.
heal for yourself.
You should have been timed
Or
out.
use
You
this
should not be
ability as a way
banned.
to,
But
you know,
you should also never do that ever again
some
anywhere.
sort of catastrophic way.
It's just
That
weird.
Stun is there for the enemy. For
If-
that's a win.
If you weren't a regular, I wouldn't give you a second chance.
To cleanse. So you get stunned briefly before you get teleported. If you cleanse that, you will not get teleported. You
This
have to
alt
stay
is
stunned
awesome.
until the time the
It's
teleport is
really,
teleported.
I mean, I guess it's not
So
short
this does
range.
pretty
It's kind
moderate
of short
amount
range, but it's
damage.
huge.
Has that big area, has the teleport.
I
That
mean,
way,
this
if there's
thing's
one
gonna
more
go
feature that
crazy
was
in
on
team
the
fights.
IGN video. After
I'm
you
more
play-
interested, less in the damage, less in the porting of the enemy gods. I'm more interested in being able to go back and forth as like a jungler. Like, am I going to be able to avoid a ton of damage by porting?
It then leaves behind a interactable area.
Bro. Wait, can you cast over walls? Could you stand on the other side of the fire giant wall and then portal out a whole team? And then put your team in there?
Area that you can take and teleport. You could so anyone on your team can do this. You can do it one time. Everyone can do it one time per fire of the ultimate, and they can go in either.
Wait, only one time? I thought it said it was... You and allies can interact with the portals any number of times. He just said only one time.
direction. So if someone's out of position, they can use it to take it back, or they can use it to get into the fight as well. So
Okay, so then I'm less worried about the teleports if you can only do it once. I thought you could spam it.
Crossroads, which we kind of and you also see in her theming about her torch and being placed in doorways, and this was used for kind of things like
Hecate's 2 is a
interdimensional travel
global
and
ability,
other
and you should be able to.
justification.
What does her
Underworld
2 have to
goddess
do with me talking about the ult?
Underworld, so that's like we extrapolated a lot of those themes into this super awesome
Her
switcheroo.
this ult is sick. No matter what, whether it's busted or not good yet, and they have to buff it. That ult is definitely one of the cooler abilities we've seen in Smite since like Janus ult. I feel like Janus ult when it was implemented was awesome. New god Thanatos. So Thanatos basic attack is normal, 3-hit chain. Order is the same, it looks like. Yeah, same hit chain. Harvest of Souls, passive. Enemy gods at low health are revealed to you and can be executed by hovering death. Killing an enemy heals Thanatos. Killing a god reduces all of his cooldowns. Abilities cost health. The health threshold is determined. God kill health 15. NPC 7. Cooldown reduction is 5. So this didn't change. Death Size. Projectile hits, stops on walls. Same kind of numbers ish. 6 health, 6% health cost, send a death, gain movement speed and flat pen, deal bonus damage and run faster towards enemies in execute range. Okay. This is all normal, bro. That's crazy though. 24%, 24 bonus if they're threshold. That's crazy. How much pen? 22. All right. Silence 3 is still silence. The exact same. Bonus damage on 2 is new. Is it? Oh yeah. Wait, 15% bonus damage? Wait, that seems kind of crazy. Yeah, this seems kind of crazy. Holy crap. What's up, Blazing? Thank you for the 74 months. This seems like you might not want to ult sometimes now. Someone said the 3 cast faster. Interesting. Fly into the sky and select the landing location. Deal physical damage and stun enemies. Execute enemies in low health. Execute. Hold on. Is this not higher than normal? Smite, Thanatos. Abilities. Oh, it is. I didn't realize his health threshold was 40% on live. No, it says on the website, it says 40% on live. That's crazy. 40% is so high. So Thanatos is the same, essentially, with the extra damage when they're under threshold and you have your 2 popped. Morgan. Same autos. Same passive. The damage over time can crit. Okay. Deal magic damage and stuns enemies. Alright, that's the same. Our projectile deals magic damage. Enemies hit or mark. The mark then they explode when the god is damaged by any. Okay. So that's the same. Stealth immediately. Gain movement speed. Send a clone of yourself to a large target location. So that's the same. Select the target to transform into. Gain access to their abilities and items for 10 seconds. Her passive now procs her too. It already does on live. Wait, I thought it already does. What? I could have sworn her passive always procced her too. Really? Bro, I could have sworn it always fucking procced it too. Yeah, I'm reading this right now. If the god you transform into has an ultimate cooldown longer than this ultimate's cooldown, use the transform target's cooldown instead. You will copy all their abilities and items, all with no cooldown. You will copy their ability ranks. If your level is different to the transform target, it will use the order they ranked their abilities. That's sick. If you're in the middle of firing an ability when you transform times out, you will de-transform the moment the ability fire ends. That's the same as live. Okay. God balance. Game-wide time to kill adjustments. We want Smite 2 to allow for early game aggression to be rewarded and keep lethality higher overall. God-based health reduced by 25%. Game-wide CC adjustments. This is what I don't like. We are lowering the DR stacks down to 2, which is fine. DR is fine. I think DR should really be a micro thing and not really exist that much. Basically, but right, like with these changes, CC is just going to last way less. Like you're going to be CC'd way shorter than you are currently. So that all the durations are lowered. See, that's 0.3 seconds off Impale. You got 0.25 off of Anubis stun. Like these are massive cooldown, or sorry, not cooldown, CC reductions. They fixed on her's abilities for the animations to look better, like not visually better, but like in terms of their cast and they're showing up on the screen better, I guess. Anubis got a buff. Death Gaze gain 2 damage per tick plus 2% scaling per tick. Athena reduced taunt slow for 65% to 25%. The tooltip is correctly set to 50. Athena's taunt has been really busted in Smite 2. It doesn't feel right. It feels off. Something's wrong with it. Kalgan Zephyr, mana cost reduction, Slipstream mana cost reduction, Whirlwind base damage buff by 6. Ymir Frostbite increases damage reduction from 10 to 15. Fenrir nerf, decreased strength buff. This kind of matches Smite 1. It's like changes a while ago. It makes sense. Nerfed his ult timer. Decrease the slow. Decrease the attack slow on Chalk. Hades. Decrease the protections Hades gets while channeling his ultimate. Decrease per tick damage in his ultimate. Soul Fix. This ability now grants Soul Haste. They gave Soul her haste back? If you don't understand what DR means, DR is if you get hit by a CC and then you hit by another CC within a certain amount of time, that second CC is way reduced time. It's not its normal amount of time of CC. Like you're not stunned for a second, you're stunned for like 0.5 seconds. If you get by another one within another window, it's even less. Like it'll be 0.2 seconds. It's very active. Like DR is very common in a lot of games. Super prominent in MOBAs usually. Items. Blink Rune. This is now the default active ability that all players start with. You're teleported to a target location up to 7.2 meters away. This effect can be used during combat. Long cooldown. Tier 3 Blinking Amulet is removed from the game. So there's no more Blink item. There's just a Blink relic. Beads. Players can change their Blink Rune into a Purification Beads through the item store. Select the beads active just as you would any item upgrade to swap. Be aware this does turn off auto buy when you swap. Players will also be able to change their minds. Their minds, one which of these actives they want. On which of these actives they want anytime during the match. Sell purification beads and buy combat blink instead, vice versa. The cooldown will not reset when buying or selling. So you keep the same cooldown if your shit's on cooldown. Healing Potion. This is good. The Healing Potion was overtuned. Decrease healing for 25 health per tick. 8 ticks over 7 seconds to 20 health per tick. Wait. Okay, this is fine. It's less burst healing, but it's still a lot of healing. This should probably even be nerfed more. Mana Potion. Same concept. New tier 3 item. This item is busted. I'm sure they show it here. Right? I mean, they showed it somewhere. Do they show it in this fucking VOD somewhere? Anyone know the timer? Trying to skim it real quick. Do they open with it for the hype? I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. I don't see it. Beginning with Thanatos. Oh, that's them showing Blink Rune. Oh, there it is. Nice. All right.
Some of those just simple.
So this new item gives you 200 HP. It's 15 cooldown rate, 5% movement speed, and it has an active. You are polymorphed and begin a short charge forwards, damaging enemies hit for 50 physical damage. Hitting a god ends the charge, knocking them up and dealing 10% of their current HP as bonus physical damage. While polymorphed, you gain CC immunity and 60 protections. So I don't know if every role will be able to run this item or would even want to, but tanks will probably end up using this item.
Simple stim items to more interesting actives like this. So this kind of taking the place of the blinking amulet for now, but depending on this usage and how this goes forward, we could see hopefully multiple items that all kind of occupy the same.
Hello, Jokes.
Space.
For sure, yeah. And Pawn, are we ready
Yo,
to go in
what's
game
up,
and show
man?
off?
Let's see.
Finally
I'm super
able to
excited
play
for this.
rank since getting a PC. It's been a heck of a grind, lol.
And knocks people up.
Thank you, Jokes. And Praxis, thank you for the resub too, man. I appreciate all you guys.
Crazy.
and you can change direction while you're going. Has
Oh, I didn't know you could turn. I thought it automatically just went straight.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, so you get a lot of mobility.
This is gonna be OP on tanks.
Things you can knock up. There's
Like
a lot
your
of
CC immune, right? So this is essentially a secondary pre-beads. Like you wouldn't be able to use it while CC'd, I don't think. But if you know you're about to get hit by something, you could use it. So like Hecate ult's about to hit you, or Hades. I mean Hades ults, you could just dash out of it. It's a really strong item. It gives you a lot of stats. It does a lot of damage, and just the CC immunity and movement alone, it's basically like a blink that can be blocked.
The kind of flexibility we want with our active items, where this is essentially an extra movement tool that you can bring into your build at any point. For characters who just need to be able to get away, it could be really good for that. Or if you're an engager, and
They did change the camera point of view, but I don't know that it's exactly like Smite 1Z that.
And just a fun theme. It's just really cool that we were able to like kind of.
I like the idea of this active. I think this was gonna be a little OP. I'm gonna be honest. I think for tanks it's gonna be super OP. They reworked Atalanta's bow and a Hazen Fatalis. So there was already a Fatalis in the game. So maybe they dropped that item as well and they just put it all into one. The decrease the cost. It's cheap. Strength is low. Attack speed's low. When you hit an enemy god, base attack you gain 25% reduced. Basic attack movement penalty for 2. No, this is the same. Okay. So this is the same item. They just changed the name so it isn't confusing. So it's not true Fatalis. It's a stacking Fatalis that doesn't fully turn into a full Fatalis. Like it's gonna be probably pretty good for pub stomping. I don't know. We'll see it at a higher level. These are all the buffs. This item now applies healing reduction, divine ruin, brawler's ruin, eye of province buff, decreased cooldown, polynomicon buff. They buff poly again. Poly's almost back to where it is on live, right? On Smite 1. Dagger of Frenzy nerf. This item was OP. This is the auto attack item that you activate. Death metal nerf. This is like a crit in strength item. Really good. Gem of Focus nerf. Cost more. Tekokagi nerf. Cost more and has less power. This item's also OP. Soul Dev nerf. This is necessary. This is probably the best item in the whole game. You're building it on every god, even if you weren't scaling off of int. Lifesteal stat. Decrease efficiency from 70 gold per point to 90 gold per point lifesteal. I don't know how that. I don't understand that. Scythe. Tier 1's reduced. Tier 2 reduced. Reduced. Upcoming features. This is the exciting thing that you guys are talking about. More pre-game active choices. We are in the process of designing and implementing more powerful active effects that players can choose from instead of blink or beads. So they are so they're going for the idea of what League does, where you pick, except for these are way more important. I feel like League has a jungle starter you pick when the game starts, all that stuff. It sounds like they want to have blink beads, probably like a shell. And I'm wondering if Aegis is going to end up being one of these. Pre-game passive choices. We are in the process of designing and implementing a new system that allows players to select a passive effect from a variety of options. These new passes will not take up an item slot. The design goals to these passes will be provide combat-oriented effects, not economy. Make one effect that clearly fits in the role. Bro, okay, there are things I agree they need to copy from League, but like, I think this is weird. I think this is just weird. I really think this is weird. Rework God ability text formulas, color coding, player progression. They've already talked about that. We talked about that yesterday. Player reporting and moderation, K-screen, current hover tooltip is temporarily available. Okay. Individual ability casting settings, yeah. Ranked modes. Oh, they fucking lied to us. I swear the thing we read yesterday, they said they wanted ranked to be live with 24/7 alpha. This is saying it won't release immediately. That's very disappointing. Not end all be all because they say it's coming out with the patch after, but that's really disappointing. Well, Welp. Alrighty.